Thanks for listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shannon Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology coach, and personalized learning coordinator for my district.
And I'm her husband, and there's a good probability that I'm the best producer she could find for the price. Fuzz Martin.
Good work. That was really clever.
Thank you. I worked very hard on that. I spent like hours.
Or at least like a whole 3 minutes while
No, it was about 10 seconds, but
So I feel like now, everybody, guess what this week's theme is?
Oh man, what could it be? What are the odds of it being about probability?
And may they ever be in your favor.
Oh, we just finished watching that with the eldest.
We did.
She was very excited.
She was.
And now she's at prom.
She is.
Yeah.
And we are here.
And
chatting
we are
with
here.
you. So this week,
Yes.
if you haven't figured it out already, we are talking about fun sites for probability and statistics. So this time of the year, good old mid-May,
Yeah.
when teacher world is like,
The kids are restless. The teachers are restless. The end is near. And
this year has been long.
why?
I don't know.
Does it feel longer than
Just
usual
a couple
years?
of things going on, and one or two differences than normal, and one or two challenges that have gone on. And I feel like, well, I think most educators that I have spoken to, like everyone's like, hey, we could all take a little break, just because we talked. Like last summer didn't feel like summer because we were gearing up so much for this school year, trying to figure out like what we were gonna do. So there wasn't like this like downtime because our brains were all like, okay, how am I going to space kids 6 feet apart? How am I going to not have people breathe on one another? How are we going to do group work? How are we going to do virtual kids? How are we going to do it's a lot. So I get it. And yeah, we're all climbing the walls, climb every mountain. So
wow.
I know I'm singing
a little musical improv today. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. So
I'm every woman. Oh no.
Yeah. So with probability and statistics, it usually comes at the end of the year for math, because there's certain things in math that you have to cover. Obviously, you're meeting standards, and these standards seem to always kind of be pushed aside, or a lot of times they're just not built in to everything else. They kind of stand on their own a little bit. And anyway, at the end of the year, I can't say how many times I've had math teachers be like, all right, problem stats, the last week of school, this is what we're going to do. And so I've been pulling resources and collecting them to help out and be like, all right, so you've got virtual kids. Here's some things you can do. Mm-hmm. You've got face-to-face kids. You can do this stuff. These kids have Chromebooks. These kids don't. And collecting just some fun tools. And while, yes, these are math tools, and obviously probability and statistics falls under the math standards, they're just fun, or you could do them as like in a group activity or some community building, or at this point, some like community survival. I don't know if we're building community.
For sure.
I mean, we're always building community, but at the same time, like we've been a community for a whole year now.
Right.
So maybe just have some fun together. So yes, they are math sites, but at the same time, you could build them kind of into fun little things. We have enrichment class in our school where I throw stuff in all the time that's kind of random, from painting kindness rocks to building robots. So
you're randomizing. Look at you and your probabilities. I do have to say, if you're going into, if you have kids who are going into business school eventually, and they want to be in business, statistics and probability is like one of the core classes for any business class. And it was the hardest one that I had that I can remember in school was statistics. And we had a very good teacher, a very good professor. But we learned some things in high school and that, but the sooner you can get students ramped up on this,
I think it's fun.
The
I
more
find
the
probability
easier
statistics to
it'll
be
come
so
to them. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
But I know not everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm always like, oh, that's so cool. Like just the random how things happen. Anyway, all right.
I have just one other segue. We have one guy at work when we're like, if we're ever like, what are the odds of that happening? And he'll always go, well, it's pretty much the odds of anything else happening. And we're like, okay, stats guy. But
yeah,
this shouldn't have happened.
Right.
That's what we were trying to say to you.
Nice.
Anyway, carry on.
All right. So our first site, and again, they're all going to be math sites, and I'm focusing on the probability sections of these sites, but they actually have all kinds of fun math tools.
Sure.
So you can use them as you wish.
Mm-hmm.
So the first site is called Transum. Transum.org. So it's Transum.org.
So like transum, like math.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Instead of like a transom, like you'd use in building, which is spelled with an O.
There you go. Okay. So Transum like math, because it's a math site. And we're going to, so you get the original site, the homepage. Let's talk like actual humans here.
Yeah.
Homepage has just lists of all types of math things. So from like algebra to, I don't know, equations to fractions to
long division.
Yeah, money. They have all of it. So go down to
Money.
probability. It's under P because it's probability. And if you click on it, then you get all of these other resources on probability, which I was kind of like, what's here? But if you start digging through this site, there's a lot of stuff here. So it's not where, I feel like sometimes probability is like, oh, we have to haul out the dice, we have to haul out the marbles. But these are all digital. So there is like probability starters, which is kind of funny. I was playing around with this one. If you click on bus stop, literally, there are these 4 strange kind of bizarro cartoon characters. And then it says how many different ways can 4 people stand in a line. And you literally just click and reorder these strange little cartoon people and like brainstorm out loud how many combinations you could make. It would be super fun on a smart board because you could just send kids up to like move and drag and drop these things around.
Sure.
So, and by the way, I should kind of preface this. Like most of these sites, I would say are like probably 3rd through maybe 9th grade, 10th grade.
Okay.
For probability and statistics. There's a variety of things in them, and you can modify them for younger or older, however you would need to. And then there's probability for like advanced starters, and then they have like the biased coin, and you're playing football on a desert island, and you want to toss a coin. Unfortunately, the coin on the island is bent and is seriously biased. How can you use biased coin to make a fair decision? So like it gives you problems with the probability and statistics. But then they also have teacher resources, and then they've got activities that are created, and then they have like years 7 to 9, because this is broken down by grade levels a little bit differently than like grade levels that we have here in good old Wisconsin. So there's all kinds of activities, and there's investigations, which I love a good investigation because it's basically inquiry learning.
Right.
Where you can throw dice, and then it gives you the breakdown, and then all the different roles you could possibly do, and then how you could like break that down from there. And there's just a lot of different choices to go from. So it's a great starting point if you're going to do probability and you're kind of like, I don't want to do what I do every year. I want to just try something new. This is a great place to start and kind of dig through all of the different resources that are here. And if you like those, or if you're looking even for another math topic, on that first homepage, there are all kinds of things. And it's just a nice resource to have all in one place, which is kind of cool. So that is transum.org.
TRANSUM.
Correct.
.org.
Yes.
A transom window, flashing back to my youth, is the window above your front door. If you have a window above your front door, that's called a transom window.
I feel like I knew that. It
Yeah.
probably was you that taught me because of your...
Either that, or it was Chip and Joanna Gaines on Fixer Upper.
Also could be true.
Shiplap!
It is your new favorite thing.
It is my favorite thing.
We're kind of late to the party of that show, too.
We are, but it's okay. That's okay. Everybody, yeah.
All right. So our next site, I was pretty sparkly about when I found this one because I feel like I should have known it before.
Yep.
But I didn't.
All
And
right.
maybe you already know the site. But it's wisconsin.pbslearningmedia.org.
/ collection. Oh no, but that's the main site.
Yeah, if you want to go to collections, then you can go under collections. But just the main site, wisconsin.pbslearningmedia.org.
Yes.
And this site, obviously created by PBS Learning. I use PBS for usually like K3, K5, they're fun like games based on their shows.
Yeah.
But this site is super organized for older students, grades 2 through 8. And it will even give you the breakdown like in the collection. So I'm in the math collection right now. So that's where if you go like under collections, go under math at core middle school.
Yep.
And it will break it down for middle school for you. And by topic, which of course our topic right now is probability. By the way, if you go under grades, they have a pre-K section, elementary, middle school, and high school section. So I'm in the middle school right now, but you can choose a different grade level.
This site is great all around. Yeah.
It's fantastic. So if you go to like math, and then you can go pick, geometry or number systems, whatever. I'm choosing statistics and probability. And then from there, when I need resources, it's broken down by grade. So this is culturally responsive teaching statistics and probability, and you click on it, and there's documents for like lessons. Then they have interactive activities, and then they have media galleries where they have videos explaining it. And then they have specific video only. And then there's different games. They have random samplings. They talk about probability in space. They have all of these different galleries and activities and interactive lessons and all kinds of stuff. Like they have an interactive scatter plot. And the coolest thing, they give you all the stuff. They give you the lessons. They show you how to teach it. They have the videos. And then you can drop it directly into your Google Classroom.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's a button there, and it's like, or if you don't have Classroom, if you're using Canvas or something else, assign or share, and they just click on it, and you can drop it right in as a quick assign, or you can assign it to a class. You can send it to Remind directly
that's
from
cool.
here.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So there are so many ways, and what a cool free resource. And while I'm talking about probability and statistics, because there's like a billion resources there,
but it's like all.
But they have all kind, like they have that for every topic, and not only math, like they have social studies and science, and they have language arts. So we'll probably come back to this
dance,
site.
Theater, world languages.
Yeah, we'll probably come back and share more on this site just because there's so much to offer. But there are so many cool things that you can interact with. And then if you go to launch it, so if it's one of the interactive sections and you go to launch it, I've been worried lately because Adobe Flash is gone and so many education sites have depended on that for interactive lessons.
Yep.
And this one doesn't have that. So it just interacts right away. You're not worrying about like Flash not working.
One other thing that I think is really cool is when you go into the math section. So you go to grades and then say middle school and you go into math. They have a whole video series with real life math, and then they have a person like here's Raul Ramirez, and he teaches you about how he uses math as a woodworker and how all of these things pertain to him as a woodworker, and then it also goes into the standards for the in this case for the Wisconsin DPI to talk about which core standards are hit by that. But like it has real life math for a pharmacist, for a data analyst, for a nurse, accountants, and so you could play if you have your students say, "When am I going to need this?"
You're like, right here.
Yeah, like here's Raul who does woodworking for a living, or here's this nurse, and he's going to tell you about how he uses math in his day to day, and it's really cool. By the way, there's a commercial that's out right now where there's like a group of people who are in a parking garage that's about to collapse.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, all right, there's only one way we can save us. The parking garage is this long and this high. We need something, or we need to know the angle at which this thing will collapse, and then we can find ourselves in the right spot. And then it snaps back, and then it says, and that, kids, is why you need to know this for the future. It's just a pretty fun commercial. I'm not sure whose commercial is. Probably Geico or something, but
nice.
Yeah, anyway.
Using math, real world, and also not the real world, because there is a probability activity based on the Hunger Games that is
nice.
in here. So if it's real
long, bringing it all back. Very good.
Yeah, so explore the site. There is so many cool resources and videos and activities and interactions that you can do with your students with this. So check that one out.
And I believe if you just if you type in pbslearningmedia.org, it will find the proper subdomain for your state. So
there you go. Sweet.
Check it out.
And there's one last site we're talking about today, and this is a quick one, similar to our first one, so similar to Transum, but this one is called freetrainingtutorial.com. So it's free training tutorial.com. And this homepage, again, this one's going to be math focused.
Yep.
Again, there's other stuff kind of along the left-hand side of the screen. There's other choices like spelling and vocabulary and stuff. But we're looking at math, and it's totally free educational resources, which we love. And they have their number sense and math games and various subjects. And right under various subjects, there's the probability link. And you click on probability. And I kind of had to look. I was like, oh, where'd it go? But there's just an ad in the center of the page.
Yeah.
So if you scroll down a bit, you'll see basic probability practice, which is spinners and that stuff. But as you scroll down, I was like, oh, there's 2 or 3 activities on here. But then you keep scrolling. There's a slushy sludger and the vial vendor and the gas pump, and probability is fractions, and then raffle tickets and beat the odds. And you just keep on going. Snail race and online spinners and card sharks, and you just keep on going. So actually there's tons of probability activities. Just scroll down the page a little bit. And they have the probability fair, which is the one that I always base. We've been working in 7th grade on kind of a carnival game type probability project that's been working on. And we're always looking for fun ways. And this one is a digital one. So they have the little probability fair. It pops up and you just click on it, and then the pictures become interactive, and you hit play, and then they give you little directions, and then there's little activities to do too. So I'm
playing a game right now called the vial vendor.
Mm-hmm.
And it asks you what is the chance you'll get a rusty nail drink out of this this vending machine? And they have 4 vending options,
mm-hmm.
and there are no rusty nails there, so I'll say impossible, and it says well done, and then you click get drink, and the vending machine drops a disgusting named soda for you. And this one was Scum that I just got.
Nice.
But it's pretty cool, and it's a very easy way to teach
probability and start discussions and having kids interact with it. And
yep,
they're quick. They're not go on all afternoon kind of activities.
Right.
They're fun ones, but they're all online. So they would be really easy if you still have some virtual learners, or if you're still, if you're sharing things or brainstorming in groups or different things, or getting ideas to do physical projects in class.
Mm-hmm.
So it's freetrainingtutorial.com. And then when you get to your math things, just across the top there, you just click probability. Again, there's lots of math tools there too. But it's kind of fun. And you just have to scroll down a little bit, and then you have all of these fun activities. I was doing the ball picking machine before, which looks like bubble gum. And the youngest was actually why does it say red and blue, but yet there's red and yellow in the bubble? Well, that's because it would be impossible because there's no red. It's yellow. So I was explaining that to her before. So yeah, so that's another fun probability activity. So
the site is called
free-training-tutorial.com is the site. Free training tutorial.
Yep.
.com.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So fun probability activities, all digital, all free. You can do them with your math kiddos. You can try them out in science class. You can try them out during your enrichment class. Or, when we all need like 10 minutes because we just need to breathe.
Yeah.
It's a good time to try it out too.
Agreed.
And you're now playing probability games.
I'm not.
What's
or
the
am
probability of that?
Likely.
Nice. So yeah, good old episode
Certain.
92. Craziness.
Reggie White.
You were all going to survive. We're going to make it the next few weeks. It's going to be okay.
This. You're good enough. You've got the stamina. You're going to make it through.
It's going to be good.
We have faith in you.
We do. So, thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on Twitter at SmartNWI. And if you want to get more information on the links to the technology discussed in this episode, you can visit smartnwi.com. Or you will find me on Facebook. New episodes each week. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
The ideas and opinions expressed on this podcast and the Smart NWI website are those of the author, Shanna Martin, and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies discussed in this episode, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as described, but we hope they do, and we will talk to you again next time on the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast.